Will Amazon employees return to the office soon? That's probably the question you want to know and I want to know. And a lot of people want to know this because, when people don't work from home, it causes a challenge. Well, Amazon recently unveiled its office return policy. But hold your breath. There is a slight conundrum in there. Amazon has shifted its office return policy once again. They have ditched their plans to bring back the most corporate employees in January for a more flexible approach that will leave the decision up to the team directors. The tech companies are following people like Facebook and Twitter that allows indefinite remote
Jay
work.
Moore Tech Talk Show, where we answer questions about technology, explain the way they should work, and why they don't sometimes.
Well, hi, everyone. It is John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur, and it's great to be with you again this wonderful Friday here at the Jay Moore Tech Talk Show. Marcus, it's great to have you again with us. It's always good to have you on the show with us as a co-host. And we have a great show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to talk about something really serious, and that is to the ladies out there. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and breast cancer screening time. So the most important thing is that early detection is the best key for prevention. So early detection is the best key for prevention. And I would encourage you that if you know a lady or if you are a lady, that you make that time to, have that screening done. If you don't want to do it for yourself, then please do it for those loved ones in your life, whether that be your son, your daughter, your husband, your cousins, the rest of your family, or your friends, because, they really do cherish you in their life. And it's important that you take the time to cherish yourself, because if you don't, there's a possibility you may not be here, and none of us would want that. All right, let's get into the show. We have an amazing show for you tonight. So Apple, yes, Apple. Apple has some interesting things. Apple has some interesting things going on. And I want you to understand that it's important that you pay attention to these things, because Apple recently reported that they can't get enough chips for the iPhone 13. Now, the company has been slashing its manufacturing goals by over 11%, and the chip shortage is hitting the iPhone 13, with Apple really taking the brunt of this. And they are planning to have more challenges before it gets better. And that's something that I think we all need to know about. And while the primary A15 Bionic SoCs on the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro are manufactured by the TSMCs, there are plenty of other chip-based components inside the phone that come from other sources. And it's a problem. And so why is this happening? Well, we kind of knew this was going to happen, because as this chip shortage is starting to move around the world's kind of shut down because of the COVID pandemic. Now, why is this happening? Well, they're having energy issues in China where, they're running their factories more than they were designed, and they're having to shut down for basically not only the safety, but also the well-being of everyone else, because we need power for other things like hospitals. So they're really having a big issue with power over there in China. And the chip shortage, ladies and gentlemen, is going to get worse before it gets better. And I quote from a gentleman at Fitch Solutions that it will start to improve in 2022. We still, and I quote, only expect an overall improvement in the global supply of chips from mid 2022 onwards as new chip production capacities start to come online. Close quote. Uh, you know, it's very interesting what's happening. And the point is that, you know, we need to have the right supply, but so many things are getting affected in our lives, not just phones, but even daily things that people need for survival. I mean, these are problems that are happening. I know people that are having challenges with getting what do you want to call it, to get even paper products, right? That's really a big problem. I know what you're saying, John. This is crazy, um, but it's the truth, and more supply issues are going to hit the market. So just be prepared for that. Well, on a brighter note, Apple just announced that on October 18th, um, they will have their event after months of the rumors. The new MacBooks, Mac Mini, and AirPods are believed to be released because we never know exactly because Apple always has some things up their sleeve. And the Apple's next hardware event is going to really pack a big punch, they're saying. A lot of people out there are looking for great gifts for the holidays, and this is going to be a great thing. However, my question is, are people going to be able to get these things in time for the holidays? That's really, I think, the question that everyone wants to know. Are they going to be able to get these things before the holidays, or is it going to be more of a problem? Yeah, I know. Well, when we talk about things of technology in orbit, and Qualcomm Robotics RB3 platform actually, made its debut not too long ago, and they're really starting to make some changes. But what is going on with this new endeavor that's starting to hit our marketplace? Well, that's a great question. So, in orbit and Qualcomm Robotics is an RB3 platform, and RoboBusiness is the premier commercial robotics trade show for business executives. Um, and Qualcomm Robotics RB3 kit is supposed to have pre-integrated support for in-orbit's cloud platform. Pretty amazing. It's supposed to be a very advanced development kit based on the powerful Qualcomm SDA 845 SoC. And if you're saying to me, John, what the heck is that? Well, I knew you were going to ask me that. So I'm going to tell you. So the Qualcomm, this is actually, again, this is the Qualcomm chip. It was developed not too long ago. But the thing about it is that this is becoming, or is going to become, a cornerstone of our world. I mean, I think this is going to be pretty amazing. It combines high performance heterogeneous computing and artificial intelligence for a very smart all-in-one engine for on-device machine learning. This is going to be way cool. And having in orbit as part of the robotics ecosystem, they believe, is key to helping accelerate adoption of robotics at scale. And this was a quote given by Dev Sign. And autonomous service robots are going to be deployed at scale, and so much stuff is going to be able to happen because of this type of environment. And now that we've got the 5G connectivity being rolled out, and being able to have things like learn on the fly and be able to, report information. But now they're opening up the ability so that all developers are going to be able to get in on this, and they're not going to have to be that well versed in robotic programming, because they're going to make these API kits very easy and accessible to push information back and forth. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. So the Robotics RB3 platform, again, it's a dedicated robotics platform designed to accelerate computing and connectivity capabilities for consumer and industrial robots. Now, the Qualcomm Robotics RB3 platform supports the development of smart, power-efficient, and cost-effective robots. That's what they're going for. And remember, it's based on the Qualcomm SDA 845 chip and the SDM45 SoC. And so it's going to be pretty amazing what's going on, because, when we can drive the costs down of things, that means we can easily, get them to be deployed in a quicker fashion because more people are going to want to buy them. So the highlights of the Qualcomm RB3 platform, in case you were wondering, it's on-device intelligence powered by the Qualcomm AI engine. Okay, and it includes neural processing, encompassing analysis, optimization, and debugging tools. So pretty cool. It's supposedly power efficient and cost effective. The RB3 platform is designed to support large industrial and enterprise devices, as well as those very tiny, small battery operated robots with challenging power requirements and thermal dissipation challenges. So this is going to be pretty interesting. The comprehensive development kit is what you get, and it will reduce development time and the complexity for intelligent high-performance robots using a feature-packed development kit. The kit includes the 96 boards compliant robotics-focused Dragon Board 845C for supporting a broad range of different types of daughter boards that can be easily added on for expansion. And so much is going to happen. Range of flight sensor support, like TOF, time of flight, active stereo camera, multi-mics. It's going to be pretty cool. But now people aren't going to have to write into this technology because it's already going to be developed. They just have to figure out how they're going to deploy it and what they want to use it for and build their application. It has the ability for flexible design options for commercialization. And as we know, it's very feature-packed. And because it's a whole kit, it is a solution for commercialization from the off-the-shelf systems, which they call SOM modules, off-the-shelf system shelf and system-on module solutions, to speed commercialization, to the flexibility of so many more things that are going to happen. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that this is going to be an amazing, amazing thing because when we talk about, platform diagrams and we talk about how they're starting to integrate the systems and use things like visual processing and the Hexagon 685 DSP and the Qualcomm Cairo and the Qualcomm, processor that has security with secure boot, cryptography accelerators. And of course, the Qualcomm's trusted execution environment and camera system. So lots of stuff are going to become possible. I think we're going to see this in not just robotics, but we're going to see this in drones. I think we're going to see drones that are more intelligent. I think that's where we're going to be going because now the price tag, ladies and gentlemen, is going to come way down. Once it comes way down, well, now that's going to open up the engagement pod for more people to become involved. Yes, you heard it right. Amazon, yes. Amazon is now making an interesting statement. Will Amazon employees return to the office soon? That's probably the question you want to know and I want to know. And a lot of people want to know this because, when people don't work from home, it causes a challenge. Well, Amazon recently unveiled its office return policy. But hold your breath. There is a slight conundrum in there. Amazon has shifted its office return policy once again. They have ditched their plans to bring back the most corporate employees in January for a more flexible approach that will leave the decision up to the team directors. The tech companies are following people like Facebook and Twitter that allows indefinite remote work for some, but still expects employees to be located close enough to their core teams. So Amazon banked on the return to an office-centric culture, but this late move that they made is signaling that people may never be going back to work on a regular basis. That's a problem. So all companies around the world are managing different stages of the pandemic for the first time, and they're learning, how do we evolve? How do we grow? How do we stay in business? How do we connect to more clients? How do we make new innovations? And this is really a challenge. So everyone says that Amazon has got the right idea. Let your talent decide what work arrangement works best for them. their claim is that, we're all adults and we've been hired to do a job. And as much as I believe this, okay, I have to tell you that even though people are adults, they don't always act like adults. And that's why I'm not a big proponent of having people work from home, especially when you're in a production environment, because you just can't get to something immediately. You have a lot of back and forth, and because of that back and forth, you waste time. And you know what happens? You waste time. You waste money. Thus, I feel more companies are going to be following suit to what Amazon has done, and letting the team leads decide where and when their teams will work. This is just a challenge. I mean, a real challenge. I don't think this is the right way to go. Okay? I really don't. And I think if the world embraces this type of culture, we're going to see a degradation of performance and client services. And that, my friends, is going to lead to loss of business. All right, there's another company that's jumping on board. Do you know who that is? Yeah, it's Verizon. So, team efforts are always very important, but I have to tell you, from the moment I was ordering my iPhone 13 Pro Max to websites going down, and I have to give them a kudos for, basically putting in a system that, even though the websites failed, you could instantly dial a phone number and get someone, not an automated attendant, and they were ready to take, yes, your credit card or your payment. It seems like when they want to get your money, they make it really easy. But I have to put a little bit of a statement out there. Getting in touch with companies like Verizon has been extremely difficult. You call them and they want to schedule a call back. I'm sorry, when you have to hold more than 30, 45 minutes, 2 minutes was the industry standard. How the heck do we get up to 45? I'll tell you what the challenge is. Some people have left. A lot of people are working from home. They don't have the proper bandwidth at home. And they also aren't really working. They're spending more time with their kids. They're spending more time on other projects, but they're not giving 100% to their job. And this is why I'm against people working from home, because we don't want to become Big Brother watching, but also employers don't want to become subject to having to pay for working at home when really they're managing their family. See, that's a problem. So hybrid teams at Verizon who have earned their Work Forward Ready badge will continue to have access to the office on a voluntary basis. And of course, changes to this plan can result at any time in the future. So nothing is stable. They made some updates to their face covering policy. All Verizon employees are required to wear a face covering while indoors and unable to maintain distance. Retail team members are required to wear face coverings when on the store floor. However, they don't need to wear a mask in the back of the store if they can distance themselves. Employees who are not fully vaccinated must continue to wear face coverings when entering and exiting and within any Verizon facility, as well as in customer locations or other places required by law. For those traveling to visit customers, they must continue to follow on-site protocols and policies as directed by our customers and any local requirements. They're continuing to adhere to any local laws that are more restrictive in requiring masks. So Verizon is not mandating vaccines for employees, but they're reviewing different options. And their plan called Work Forward, they say will continue. And the only change is that their hybrid employees will have earned their Work Forward Ready badge and are not required to adhere to their in-office schedules until November. Ugh. So they call them V-teamers, and they complete their onboarding requirements by the requested date so they can have everyone ready to lead in this new way. You can book a space, you can certify, follow the protocols, and then you get your badge. But I have to say to you, since the pandemic, I can't get Verizon on the phone. You hold, you wait, and nothing happens. And you just become frustrated because they say they can't help you. It's crazy. It's really a problem. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, it is just absolutely crazy. What's going on. I just think that people need to become serious about what's going on in our lives, right? It's a challenge. It's really a challenge. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it is challenging for a lot of people in our world, and it will continue to be challenging. Okay. This is a real serious problem. I mean, a serious problem. But what are we supposed to do? People are trying to operate their companies. They're trying to be within policy. They're trying not to get into politics. I think people today are looking for answers, but they're not really ready to what's going on. And I feel the pandemic, although there were a lot of challenges with the pandemic, I'm not going to dispute that. It's not a license to say we can't do work or a license to say, hey, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Because too many people are pushing the COVID-19 button. Yeah, they're pushing that COVID-19 button. I'm sick of that. I can't tell you how annoyed people around are becoming all because of this challenge. This is a problem. This is really a problem. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for some people. With all these different things happening with corporate America and people not having a standard, but a lot of them are trying to follow suit of the big companies. But I have to tell you, a lot of these big companies, I don't agree with them. I don't think they're right. I really don't feel that somebody can give the same client services at their home. Now, they claim that they need to be not near kids screaming and yelling, and they're not going to be doing other things. But how can we police all that? We're not going to be Big Brother. But seriously, the companies are kowtowing to this. You know why? Because they themselves in that role want that. And that's why they're allowing it to happen. That's our problem. That is really the problem. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, just like the supply chain issue. You know what I'm saying? It is really a big problem. But what I want to share with you is that there are lots of things that are happening right now. Okay. And I want to share another thing that I'm not very happy about. The FDA just recently, the other day, gave a green light to the first e-cigarette. Ugh, it just makes me sick to my stomach. I can't even take smoke. When I hear that, I was like, ugh. It just goes to show you that it's all about the drug companies. And it's about them making money, but they don't really care about people. The FDA said that they aren't allowing flavors popular with younger generations, but its decision triggered an immediate backlash, with one expert saying, quote, it throws young people under the bus. Yeah, you're giving people an easier way to actually smoke. I mean, what else am I going to tell you? But I feel we as individuals have not only a right, but a duty to understand not only technology, to understand where things are coming from, and to make our own deductions about how we want to live and how we want to operate, and not follow some order that comes from somewhere. We can't just mirror other companies. We need to do what's right for ourselves. We can't have our employees telling us that, well, if you do this, I'm going to quit. Fine, quit. We can't say that, well, gee, if I don't work from home, I'm not going to work for you. Well, great, go get a job somewhere else. Jobs were never meant to be a flexible pattern. Okay. Now they've gotten flexible, which I think is great, but I feel too many people are abusing that privilege. I'm sure you know people that do that. And there's other people that don't do it. But at the end of the day, what do we have to do? It's kind of crazy. It's absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It is so very crazy. And why am I saying this to you? Because it's so crazy. Everyone is running around without their heads on. They're not thinking about the decisions they're making. They're making their moves based on peer pressure, based on what many people say. They're not making their own deductions. You know that. I know that. Then how do we move our culture into something that is being led all over the place to something that is more organized and structured based on logical reasoning from information that we learn about? That's how our policies and procedures should be set for our own companies, for ourselves. It shouldn't be dictated or predicated by some national rule or law. What happened to the First Amendment, right? Where is the First Amendment? I'm wondering if it's getting lost or drowned somewhere. Thus, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand one thing. Regardless of whether you had COVID, didn't have COVID, regardless of whether you're vaccinated, not vaccinated, you as a person have a responsibility to yourself, to your friends, to your family, to strangers. And I've talked about this before. WIIFM, what's in it for me? And WIIFY, what's in it for you? If you act as if everything is for you, we're not going to have a great world. We need to have that give and take, that symbiotic connection. But too many people in our world don't seem to understand that there needs to be a give and take, right? Think for me right now, if you were to analyze the news, and I'm not going to get too deep with this, if you don't believe in something, do you just do it because somebody told you to do it? Or do you do it because you believe in it from your heart? That's a tricky one, guys. Very, very tricky one. I know. So how do we take people from being on the fence to moving ahead to actually doing something? Well, I think it comes down to logical reasoning. It comes down to information, education, and a clear head with no attitude. That means that the decision or decisions you make are there for the greater good of all concerned, right? How many people do things for the greater good of all concerned? Not many. Not many. Just ponder on that thought for a minute. And think about all the technology I've ever talked about, or today about the fact with these robots and stuff like that. Is that the right thing for our world? Are there going to be certain cases to where they should be used or not used? Or is it going to become a whole Pandora's box that we're going to need to set all kinds of boundaries and perimeters on? I don't know. Serious problem, ladies and gentlemen. Really serious problem. Well, I hope you have enjoyed tonight's episode as much as I have. And that when you start to get information, realize that's what it is. It's information. And information coming at you is opinion until it's verified as a fact. If you don't know if something is true, it's an opinion. Once you see it's verified, then you know it's a fact. Are you making your decisions in life based on opinions or based on facts? That's what I challenge you to think about tonight and this weekend. Well, Marcus, it looks like we have to say goodbye. But before I do, if you have an idea for a show, visit jmor.com, click on Reach Out Today, and you can become a guest by clicking on our new icon there, which is a talk show, and apply to become a guest. If you would like to propose an idea for a show, let us know that. Remember, it has to be educational. And I want to let you know that we do unboxings, and we're more than happy to do an unboxing for your product. Just remember, you can't pay us to tell us what you want to say. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to be with you on another great Friday night. I guess we got to say goodbye, Marcus. Bye, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. And remember, before you consider something as fact and make a decision, verify it, or it's just an opinion. Have yourself a great weekend, everyone. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jay Moore Weekly Technology Show, where we answer your questions about how technology is supposed to work and sometimes why you have challenges getting it to work that way. For more IT support and tips, just text IT support to 888-111. That's IT support to 888-111, and you'll get tips on technology. I'll see you next week right here on the Jay Moore Tech Talk Show. Remember, jmor.com.